fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I am going to be starting my blue from Bella Art Diamonds. You guys saw me kit up this kit earlier this week, last week, I don't know. I've been mostly working on my customized bookshelf, but I decided I was going to keep this kit up here. So this is the one I'm going to be working on. So let me zoom in to where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. All right, I've got my timer going. I'm going to start placing my drills here. And as usual, I'm going to try and start with my ABs because they end up being just that little bit bigger and it makes it a little easier to fit in other drills if you do the ABs first. At least that's what I've found. As always, you don't have to agree with me. Your mileage may vary. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and not everybody works the same. Okay, so let me start off with my life update, what's been going on in my regular life. Not a ton. It was actually a pretty quiet week until the weekend because apparently July is some kind of festival near where we live. We thought it was last weekend because we noticed last weekend there were a bunch of people running by the house and they were all wearing numbers like they were competing in some kind of race. Still never did figure out what they were doing. I mean, obviously they were racing, but a lot of the stuff around here is in French and I don't always understand all of it, so some kind of race that they had. This weekend, apparently they were having some kind of boat/rowing race. I guess it's something that they do every year. That's not the one everybody has been warning us about, though. Everyone's been telling us there's a big French festival in August. And I don't know if that's specific to our area or if everybody has a big French festival in August, but whatever it is, it's supposed to be super big. Big enough that my brother-in-law asked, because he and his girlfriend want to go to the festival, they asked if they could park in our yard and walk down so they don't have to try and find parking, because we live close enough to the wharf, I guess, where it's being held that they can just walk to all, there's like a big tent set up where they have like live entertainment and everything. I told my husband maybe that was going to be a good week for us to get out of town, go visit somebody or get a night in the hotel or something so we're not here when it happens. He wants to stay though and see how big and kind of how crazy it gets, just so we know for in the future. Because even this week with the boat race and whatever, one of the houses near us that's much closer to the water, front's right on the water, there's like 3 or 4 RVs parked in his yard. I'm assuming either their family or it's people that he's charging to park there so they can be right there on the water and see everything that's going on. I got some pictures of all the boats. Usually I only see the lobster boats out of a morning. So there'll be 1 or 2 kind of big fishing boats out, but that's it. But Saturday morning, there were all kinds of boats, sailboats, people on jet skis, people in kayaks, canoes. They were having some kind of a rowing race or something. But it was crazy how many people were actually out on the water. I mean, it is summer. We drove by the area where we were renting previously before we bought the house. It's packed. There was like an RV park across the street from the house we were renting. It's completely full. I don't know, somebody told me that some of them were rentals, but some of them were people's actual RVs, so like they would just come in the summer. Like there were lots of empty lots and things too, where it was obvious that somebody owned it because there were things left there, but nothing you could live in, no shelter or anything, that were now full of RVs. So I guess people just buy a piece of property so they can be close to the water and then during the summer bring their RV down and park it right there. There was a small house for sale a month or so ago down on that same road, and I told hubby at the time, I wish we had enough money I'd buy one so we could rent it out when we don't want to be there, live here during the winter where we have an alternative heat source if we need it. And then in the summer when we want to be down close to the beach and the water, which would really just be for my husband and my youngest because I don't mind looking at the water, but I'm not getting in it. So like getting in a boat and doing all of that stuff, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I found a couple of ABs that I want to use here. The first one is this one, and there's not a ton of drills in here. I might actually have enough drills to just substitute ABs. So I'm going to try it. I may run out, that's okay. That's happened to me before, but I will go ahead and just place some and think positive that I won't run out. I'm not very good at estimating how many drills are in something anyway, how many I'm going to have left, if that looks like I can match it, whatever. Okay, so what else do I need to talk about? I told you the festival, blah, blah, blah. We still haven't found a dog. I don't want a super big dog, and apparently my idea of a medium-sized dog and the rescue's idea of a medium-sized dog are not the same. Like 70 pounds is not a medium-sized dog to me. So we decided against the one that we met last couple weeks ago. So now we're just waiting to see if there's another one that maybe we want to meet with and see if that one works. Hubby and the youngest would really like a lab, but I'm like, they're so big. It wasn't really what I wanted. But I'm not the only one living here, so we'll wait and see. The youngest has been going out and checking out all of the shelter pages every day. So he reports to me, Mom, there's this one, there's that one. He also looks at, I think it's Kijiji, which is, I guess, kind of Canada's version of Craigslist. He saw an ad for dorky puppies, and I was like, what's a dorky? It's a mix of a miniature dachshund and a Yorkie. I love miniature dachshunds. We had two of them. Well, my kids each had one, and I had two when we were growing up, when I lived with my parents. I love them. I think they're adorable. And I've always wanted a Yorkie. I just haven't gotten one because they're kind of yappy dogs, and that's not my favorite thing. I don't like dogs that bark a lot. It's the reason I won't get a bagel or a bagel. Apparently I'm hungry. That's why I won't get a beagle, is what I meant to say, or a basset hound. My sister has a basset hound. He's cute, but not the dog for me. Everyone is out riding their motorcycles and mowing their lawns today, so if there's background noise, I apologize. The dorky mix, they're adorable, but they were for sale. They weren't up for adoption, and they wanted like $1,800, $2,000 a piece. I'm not paying that for a dog. That's crazy talk. But he keeps me updated every day with, Mom, you should look at this one. Mom, you should look at that one. I guess they had a Shih Tzu at the local shelter the other day, but it was gone within a couple of hours. I wouldn't have wanted a Shih Tzu anyway. We had a couple of those when I was younger. They're cute, but no. Just some random things. I baked some banana bread yesterday. It was so good, and it made the house smell so good. I got a package from my sister. She mailed me a package that was like the size of a book, like just a small hardback book. Not super thick, not like a Game of Thrones type book, but just a regular novel that was about the size of the package, and it cost her $70 to mail it to me. Postage is crazy, you guys. And I mean, she's not like sending it to get here overnight or anything. Just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The weather around here has been crazy too. It'll be hot, like 85, 90 one day and humid, and the next day it'll be like 50 and rainy, which is fine. It's still not almost 100 degrees, which is what they're having in Kansas right now, with all kinds of storms and tornadoes and damaging winds and hail and all that fun stuff that we used to get. So I'm grateful not to be experiencing that. But man, the constant ups and downs with the weather, the fluctuation in the temperature, it's like instant migraines for me. Both me and my youngest have had several days over the last couple of weeks where we're just like, oh man. Some days I think it's because I don't drink enough water, so I try to make up for that by drinking extra water the next day. But I've also gotten hooked on the new summer refresher drinks that they have at Tim Hortons right now, which I try not to do usually because it's expensive. They have a blackberry one that I was really enjoying. So hubby and I decided, well, we watched somebody make one time, and we're like, they take out the cup, they pour a little bit of juice, like that much juice into the cup, and then they pour sparkling water in it with some ice. Ta-da, here's your drink. And I'm like, well, if it's that simple, stop spending $6 to get it at Tim's, and we'll see if we can make it ourselves. So we went to the grocery store and bought some juice concentrate. Hubby found some zero sugar one for him that he enjoys. It's like a very sour cherry. I did not enjoy it. But he can make it with that and then also make it with some of his zero sugar juice so that he can drink it without having to worry about all the sugar in it. Not that that stopped him with some of the ones from Tim Hortons. And I'm not generally a sparkling water fan, but they are very refreshing, especially when it's humid. So we bought some concentrate, juice concentrate, like the frozen juice concentrate at the grocery store, and we're experimenting with making our own. We still don't have the ratios down the right way because the concentrate they use at Tim's is like a liquid concentrate, and we just bought like the frozen stuff because that's all we could find besides the sour cherry one that I didn't like. But we've been experimenting with it. I'm enjoying it. I can make it any flavor I want. You know, I can buy a frozen juice concentrate for a couple of bucks. The sparkling water is a couple of bucks, and I get 10, 15 drinks out of it instead of spending that same amount of money for one or two at Tim's. So I need to just do that, figure out how to make some of the stuff that I miss myself. One of the things, I made one, but it didn't turn out exactly right. I need to try it again, is making a Godfather's dessert pizza or just a dessert pizza. We didn't have a Godfather's where we lived in Kansas, but there was another pizza chain there that made the dessert pizza so, so good. It's basically just a pizza crust, a really thin pizza crust, and then with like a brown sugar butter crumble on top. And then over that, you drizzle powdered sugar frosting, icing, like a glaze. So, so good. I love it. But nobody here sells anything like dessert pizza. So we haven't been able to get it at a store anywhere. So I was like, well, I guess I need to try my hand at making it. So I decided to do that. It was okay. The recipe that I found called for like Crisco, which I'm not a huge fan of anyway. And the flavor was just off. So I think I need to do it with actual butter and some brown sugar. I don't think it had any brown sugar in the recipe. Not a ton, but some. Keep tweaking it till I get it to taste the way that I want. Hubby and I have also been looking, we keep seeing ads for a Dr. Pepper Zero, which is one of my preferred drinks, but in blackberry flavor. So I usually just get the regular one, just the plain Dr. Pepper Zero, which luckily they have around here because I can't find my zero sugar sweet tea anywhere in Canada. But we can't seem to find the blackberry anywhere. Nobody has it. So I don't know if it's just a US thing and we're seeing US commercials, but I would like to find it so we can try it and see if we like it. Hubby is diabetic, so we buy a lot of zero sugar stuff, and I buy a lot of, we try to make our drinks and things instead of using real sugar with Swerve stevia. My youngest likes stevia in his tea, and I don't mind it in my hot tea, but I don't like it in my cold tea. I don't like most artificial sweeteners because they leave a bad chemical taste in my mouth. Like it's a weird kind of chemical aftertaste after drinking something or eating something. So I don't mind the stevia in my hot tea, but I don't like it in my cold tea because it just doesn't disguise the flavor enough, I guess. Don't like Splenda at all. That just tastes like chemicals to me. But we tried, when we were still in the States, we tried Swerve, and I really liked it. It tastes like just regular sugar to me. It doesn't have that chemical aftertaste. I can't find anybody who has it here. I guess I need to get on Amazon and see if I can even order it through Amazon, but having no luck finding it at any of the stores here. Because if I could find that, then I could make my own sweet tea, which would be nice. Because, like I said, I can't find that here, so being able to make my own would be nice. Trials and tribulations, right? What else has been going on? Oh, speaking of the weather being crazy, so hubby's been enjoying the CFL season has started, the Canadian Football League. So hubby's been watching the games, and there was supposed to be a game on Friday night, and it came on kind of late our time. I forget where they were playing, but anyway, it was supposed to come on around 10, I think, and there was some kind of delay, which I just assumed was some kind of rain delay or something. No, it wasn't rain. It was air quality issues. I guess wildfires, too poor quality air for the players to be out on the field. And they kept saying, oh, it's just a delay. They're going to come out on the field. We'll let you know as soon as we hear when they're going to come on, blah, 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 blah. At midnight, I was like, you can stay up if you want. I'm going to bed. I don't care enough about this game. I was going to diamond paint during the game. So I was occupied. So while he was kind of watching other things and I was diamond painting, it was fine. But at midnight, the game still hadn't come on, and I was like, okay, I'm I'm going to bed. You can stay up if you want, but I'm going to bed. And he's like, no, 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 I'll go to bed too. It's been 2 hours. They're probably either going to cancel it or postpone it. So we went to bed. And of course, he's like, man, we're going to go to bed. And then 5 minutes, it's going to come on and I'm going to have missed it and blah, blah, blah. We get up on Saturday morning. No, they ended up not playing at all. I don't know how long they waited before they finally decided to postpone it, but it ended up getting postponed until Saturday night. So I was really glad we hadn't decided to stay up any later than we already were, because I'd have been really ticked if we were up until like 1 o'clock and then they were like, oh, so sorry, we're going to postpone this until tomorrow now. So yesterday while he watched it, I diamond painted, making some pretty good progress on the customized bookshelf. So I definitely will get that one finished in the quarter like I wanted, and then I can move on to some other things. But before I start talking about diamond painting stuff, I think there was one last thing. Oh, I was just going to say that hubby has been enjoying the CFL. The youngest doesn't care for the CFL. He's counting down the days until the NFL season starts. I don't understand all the rules in the CFL because it's not exactly the same as the NFL. They have 3 downs instead of 4 to get the yardage they need. But then there's weird rules about stuff going into the end zone because the goalposts are at the front of the end zone, not the back. The field is bigger. So I just enjoy the referee who says things like foul on number 33 because he cracks me up. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. They're trying to advance it down the field to get a score, right? I don't understand some of the 1 point stuff when it's kicked into the end zone or somebody catches it in the end zone, whatever. I'm usually diamond painting anyway, so and I don't have a team that I root for in the CFL anyway. The youngest keeps giving me updates about the NFL and who's moving around and who got a job where. Half the time I don't even recognize the name, so I just nod. Okay. So we'll see what happens. His favorite team is Miami, and he was really annoyed with them last year. Mom, why did they do that? Blah, blah, blah. And then they traded someone that he didn't think they should trade it. And then I guess this year they got him back, but then they had to spend more money to get him back. And he's like, why did they trade them? I don't know. I'm not in charge of the team. And of course, he and hubby both root for Kansas City, so we'll see what happens this year. So I think that's everything I wanted to tell you guys about my personal life. So let's move on to diamond painting while I figure out which color I want to use next. So, diamond painting life. I just mentioned earlier that I'm working on a customized bookshelf. I have started keeping an upstairs and a downstairs kit. This is the one upstairs, so when I come upstairs to film, I don't have to shuffle everything around, move everything, haul everything. So that has actually been helpful. But I do spend more time downstairs than I do up here. Usually when I'm up here, we're sleeping or I'm paying bills because my computer, my office is up here. But so I spend more time diamond painting downstairs. So I usually have my larger kits downstairs and then I'll put the smaller ones up here. But it has been helpful to kind of have them separated. It does make it easier when I want to just film something. Try to take away all of the reasons that I make excuses in my head. Oh, I don't want to have to drag everything. Nope, you need to go film. So that's been good. So I'm working on a customized bookshelf. That one is the one that I kitted up into my Forever Young trays. So I'm working with those. I have lots of thoughts about them. So once I finish that kit, I will, well, I don't know if I'm going to do an update on the Forever Young trays right after that kit, because that kit is a round kit. I think I want to try them with a square kit as well and see how I like them with a square kit before I make up my mind about them. Because there are some things that are a little bit frustrating, but I don't know if those same things will still be a friction if it's not a round kit. So it may be a while. I'll probably try to pick a small square kit to do for that though, since I don't want to wait forever to do a review of those. So I need to do the review of those. I still need to do a goals update, so that'll probably be coming out sometime this week. I just did my stash update. You guys, I'm so frustrated with myself. Apparently, I can't count. So I don't know what happened. Somewhere along the way, my numbers got off, and I keep a spreadsheet. So if my numbers get off at one point when I copy them, because I keep a spreadsheet by month of where my stash is at, just so I know even though I only do a video quarterly, just so I know where I'm at. Somehow my numbers got off. I think I had more Dreamer designs than I thought. I had more Diamond Art Club than I thought. But then I think I ended up having less of Oraloa or something maybe. So I'm only off by one. I thought I had 72 and I actually have 73, which is not that big a deal. I think I was over 80 when I started out the years, and that's with adding in the 12 that I got from Art Dot. But I've just been so focused on trying to get my stash down. I want to buy some new kits without feeling guilty, and I know right now with where my stash is at that if I spent any money on them, I would feel guilty about it. But I want some of the nice new kits, you know, that don't have the gappy drills, that don't have hopefully pink lines on them. Somebody left a comment that the Christmas or Presents Galore one that I have, the Disney one, they had one and it had the pink lines on it. So now I'm like, oh no, definitely need to figure out some kind of fix for those pink lines so that I can know what I want to do to fix it if I come across it in any more kits. I've had people give me all kinds of ideas. I know some things I want to try and some things I'm not going to try. I actually went, someone suggested instead of buying mica powder, just go out and get a cheap like eyeshadow palette and use that. That way you get a lot of different colors for pretty cheap. We tried to find some at the dollar store. They didn't have any. Someone else suggested a paint pen, which I suppose is okay, but for me, if I put the paint pen on it, then I gotta glue over it. Or I guess maybe if the paint is still wet when you put it down, I don't know. Because it's basically ink bleeding through. So I have some ideas to see how I can get rid of it, but I don't know if it's gonna mess up the glue. So that's another video I need to do. Plus I wanna get working on that kit, which is the Blue Girl from Diamond Art Club, because that one is another small kit that I could complete pretty quickly. Time just keeps flying on me. Like, how is it already almost the middle of July? I don't have a kit done yet. Well, I guess I do. I guess I technically finished the Everybody is Welcome here in July because I finished it like right at the beginning of July. I'm hoping to finish Customized Bookshelf and maybe this one. I mean, who am I kidding? If I am honest, I want to finish like 10 kits this month. Probably not happening, but I would love to. I just want to work faster. I need more hands. I don't know. After going through my stash, I just have decided that I need to go back through my stash again and make a pile of, I'm absolutely keeping these. No way would I ever donate, sell, whatever, get rid of this one. And then make a pile of maybes. And then see how many I have that are absolute keeps and how many are maybes, and then go through the maybe pile and kind of pare it down again. I don't know. Because I have some that it's like, well, I kind of want to keep this one, but it's so big, which means I keep putting it off because the smaller kits, if I do them first, that means my stash number goes down sooner, right? Because I'm just counting by number of kits, not by size of kits. Maybe I should keep track of it that way. Maybe I should go through and figure out like what's the square, how many square centimeters of drilling do I have to do per kit? Like this one's 50 by 50. So that's, what is that, 2,500 square centimeters? And then count it up that way. So the Blue Girl, if it's 50 by 50, that's another 2,500. So that's 5,000. And then if I do a big kit that's like get my total, and then maybe I can watch that number go down. Maybe that's a better way for me to approach it. I'll have to think about that because that's what I did when hubby and I were trying to get out of debt. Fiscally and financially, it makes the most sense to start paying down the debt that you owe the most interest on first, right? So if you have something that you're paying 25% interest on and something you're paying 5% interest on, you should put everything towards the one you're paying the large interest, which is fine. But when you're trying to get out of debt, that seems insurmountable and it takes you years, right? If you have something that's charging that kind of interest to make a dent in it. Whereas, my 5% debt, I owe like $400, and my 30% debt, I owe like $4,000. So yes, it makes more sense to save myself interest in the long run and pay off the big debt. But if I can pay off the small one, then once that small one is paid off, whatever I was paying towards that small one, I can pay towards the big one. And that kind of snowball building, that psychological thrill of, oh my God, I paid off a bill, so we don't have that debt anymore. Even though probably financially it didn't make the most sense, it kept me motivated. So maybe that's the way I need to approach it to keep myself motivated instead of just looking at it as one kit, whether it's 50 by 50 or 90 by 100, count the square centimeters. That means I'd have to go in and figure that up for everything, but it's not like I don't spend a lot of my time doing dumb admin things anyway. If that would be a way to motivate myself. Plus, I'm kind of curious, what would that number be? How big of a number is that going to be? Like just last year, I started keeping track of the number of drills in each kit, just so for my own personal enjoyment, I can look at it and go, hey, I've already placed 1,000,000 drills this year. I mean, I'm tracking my hours per year anyway, so if I track my number of drills, then I can keep track of that, because it really doesn't take as long to get to 1,000,000 as you would think when you're dealing with these tiny little drills. Okay, so talked about customized bookshelf. I'm working on blue. I need to work on the pink lines. Stash, goal. Oh, I wanted to talk about someone left a comment that they would like to see me work on one of the landscapes in my stash on my stash video. And I was like, what do I even have any landscapes? Because landscapes aren't typically something I buy. I've done a few. I did a Chuck Pinson because I wanted to do the Chuck along one year, just to say I'd done a Chuck Pinson. That was the one I did Vibrant Italy for. But I don't typically pick landscapes, so I was like, well, what do people consider landscapes? I did one Dreamer Designs called Cottage on the Water. That was a landscape. And I was talking about that one in the video when I was showing, I have one from Dreamer Designs called, I think it's called Beautiful Blossoms. And I'm looking forward to that one. But that was really the only one that I could think of that was a landscape. And so I was like, what do you guys consider a landscape? Does the Notre Dame one count as a landscape? Do my travel posters count as a landscape? I guess landscape in my mind means like the Chuck Pinsons, where it's like if you're looking at a cabin in the forest, or you're looking at animals in the forest, or it's a lake, or something like that. With the dragon one, with the pirate ship, would you consider that a landscape? Is the sunken ship one? I mean, that's underwater. Does that qualify as a landscape? Leave me a comment, let me know what you consider a landscape. Maybe it's more inclusive than I think. I don't know. I am looking forward to doing the Beautiful Blossoms one though, so maybe I need to get to that one sooner rather than later. Okay, I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the diamond paint-alongs. So in June, we did DP for Pets as a diamond paint-along. So everyone that participated in that, huge thank you to you. Still had a great time seeing everybody's photos and everything. I mean, I encourage you to post in the Facebook group about your progress on and stuff and things that you finish whenever you want. I love seeing everybody's photos. So we did that in June. Then we're taking July off. For August, you guys voted to have a DP along with the theme of flowers. So if you have a kit that has flowers in it, whether it's all floral or whether it's just a flower in it, whatever, flower counts. So we're going to be doing that in August. Then we're going to skip September because September starts drills and chills. So if you're going to do drills and chills, you can start that in September. I'm planning on doing drills and chills. And then in October, because that's also drills and chills, and I don't even know if I'm going to be done with the kit that I want to do. So in October, we're just going to do, the theme will be holiday. And that's any holiday, whatever holiday you want. If you're working on Christmas gifts and you want to work on a Christmas theme painting, something for Thanksgiving, Halloween, because you're still doing drills and chills, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, whatever. If it's a holiday, great. Get it out and work on it. Then in November, we'll do DP for veterans. I still don't know whether that's going to be an actual event or we're just going to do a DP along, but I'll let everybody know for sure as soon as I know. So that's the plan for the rest of the year. December will take off because December is crazy. But at some point before the end of the year, I'll hold another poll and I will let you guys vote on what theme you want to do for January. I'll put another poll out on YouTube. I'll pick 4 different themes that are possible, and we'll just go from there. You guys will vote, and whichever one gets the most votes, that'll be the one that we do. I don't really have a preference. I'm just having fun diamond painting with everybody and watching you guys get excited to show off all the stuff that you're doing. We all have different tastes, and so seeing just kind of different kits that I would never pick for myself but are absolutely gorgeous, that other people are doing is awesome. So if you're planning to do the diamond paint alongs for the rest of the year, leave me a comment down below and let me know. Would love to have you. Again, there's no pressure. It's just a bunch of us having a community where we can get together and interact with people who like the same hobby that we do. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. This one was probably pretty rambly, so I apologize for that. I know when I was talking about my regular life, I jumped around a lot, but that's how my brain is some days. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.